After this crappy build that we've had the last 8 weeks, are you ready for WrestleMania? I'm going to the damn show, and I'm not really sure. How's it going, everybody? This is Jordan J-Card Wrestling here, and this is going to be your WrestleMania 35 match predictions here. I've stated this 100,000 times. I'm sure you all know it of it, but I am going to the show, and I'm going to watch the show live. I'm not exactly entirely sure where my seats are. They're probably upper deck, but I don't think they're actually as bad as I thought they're going to be. Actually, I think they'll be lower, like on the lower section there. But anyways, I thought I'd come up here and do my predictions here for WrestleMania 35, what I think might happen, some of the spoilers, obviously the winners of the matches, and we're going to just dive in and see what happens here. This is not the best WrestleMania card we've ever had by any means. We've seen so much better. I actually think last year was a hell lot better, and this year's, looking at it like superstar value, I suppose, if I can put it that way. But we're going to come up here and just go over the show and all I think is going to happen. Before I dive in, though, if you guys haven't yet, please subscribe to my channel. I'm up here every week. Some weeks are better than others, depending on my work schedule here. But I'm up here. I'm very active on Twitter, and I'm also active on Instagram, and I will be very active during this weekend on both of those as I'm going to New York City, going to WrestleCon, Access, and, of course, WrestleMania itself here. And as we all know, like I said in the beginning of the video, this build for this card, or the show, wasn't very good. It was very dull. It wasn't very exciting. There were some moments that were good. I don't think anything was great, but it was some stuff that were good. And I really hope the WrestleMania 35 just is awesome. I hope it's a good show. A lot of people are predicting it's going to be a really bad show. And I'm not just saying that it's not going to be a bad show because I'm going there. But I think WWE, they usually put on a good show for WrestleMania. I know WrestleMania 32 wasn't very good, and definitely not 29. But for the most part, it's a pretty entertaining show. We always have a little bit of shock value, and it's always a pretty damn good show. So I think overall it'll be a fun time. It'll be a good show. I think we'll have some surprises for sure. And I think we're going to dive right into the match card here. There are a lot of fucking matches on this show. Jesus Christ. It's supposed to be supposedly a 7-8 hour show. My lord, I love wrestling and I love WrestleMania, and I'm gonna be at WrestleMania, but holy shit, that is too long if that's really the case here. The pre-show starts at 5, and WrestleMania hasn't ended. I think it's ended like at midnight, like almost every year. I mean, I think last year and 2 years ago it ended like at 12:30 in the morning. Holy shit, I think some kids can't stay up that late, you know? I mean, it's now a kid-dominant show for the most part. But, you know, I think we'll just dive right in here with the matches here. Of course, Alexa Bliss is the host of WrestleMania. I think she'll show. I actually think she'll throw some surprises at us. I don't know, by inserting herself in any matches or maybe bring somebody out. I feel like there's something behind it, though. I don't think they would put her there for just, you know, for show. I think they might for just the for the males, of course. But I think she's gonna do something with the show. I don't know if she's going to interfere. I don't know if she's going to bring somebody back. I just think she's going to do something with the show. I have a feeling about that. So there's my surprise for that. I'm just going off right WWE's website here of all the matches here. I'm not going to go over NXT TakeOver because I'm actually not going to be able to watch it because I'll actually be traveling during that time. But if I had to pick for the Tommaso Ciampa, I'm sorry, Johnny Gargano versus Matt Riddle, I think it's going to be Gargano for sure. Just keep that in mind. I think it'll be Johnny Gargano because I love him. But moving on here with WrestleMania card, assuming this is going to be on the kickoff show, we have the WWE Cruiserweight Champion Buddy Murphy versus Tony Nese. And, you know, Buddy Murphy won this. He won the Cruiserweight title at the Super Showdown in Australia. And I think it's about time. I think his run with it is good. He really hasn't done much. We don't ever see him on TV, so I don't take the extra seconds to watch 205 Live. I don't care for it, to be honest with you. And not because I don't like the Cruiserweights. I love the Cruiserweights, but they don't hype it up as big as it should be. Just my opinion. But from what I see and what I've gathered here so far, I think it's time for Buddy Murphy to take off the belt and do something else. Maybe show up on the main card. I think he's really good at that. But I think Tony Nese has this in the bag here. Moving on here, we have the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal, and it's just basically a whole bunch of jobbers for the most part here. A couple notable people in here like Asuka, Mandy Rose. And Mandy Rose, I don't think is a jobber. She's actually, believe it or not, I think she's top 3, women's wrestlers on SmackDown. I don't mean by performance-wise. I mean just by name and value-wise on the show. Like how much they promote her and how much they show her on TV and all that. I'm not really sure who to pick for this one, man. I mean, my guts tell me Asuka because I feel like, they took the title off of her in SmackDown, and she's supposed to be this dominant, athlete, this dominant female wrestler, right? So I feel like she's going to win this. I just have a gut feeling she's going to win this. I think if I had to pick a second person, might be Mandy Rose. Interference by, or actually help it out by, I forget, Sonya Deville. Thank you, Sonya Deville. But I think it's going to be I think it's going to be Asuka winning this. There's no trophy for her, right? It's just a no-name, let's paw the girls in a match battle royal, right? That's how I look at it. So I don't know, if there's any significance behind this. I think you're just going to do this every year now. It was called the Mae Young. The Fabulous Moolah Battle Royal. Of course, they took that away last year for the obvious reasons, of course. But I believe Asuka's going to win this Battle Royal. I think she deserves it. I feel bad for what happened to her in SmackDown, but I was against everybody. Everyone was so mad about it, about Charlotte winning and beating her. I actually was, kind of in my minority there where I said I actually think it's a good thing that she lost. But I think the way it did it was kind of crappy. But I think, I don't want to say a consolation prize, but I think she's definitely going to win the Women's Battle Royal, just kind of based on what's happened in our last couple weeks here. So my pick is Asuka. The Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Jesus. I bitched about this the last couple weeks here with Braun Strowman and those guys on SNL. I can remember the names. I don't really care to remember their names. But it's going to end with those guys. And my pick's going to be Braun. I mean, who else do you pick? Unless they throw us a swerve at us, and they definitely might. I think that those guys from SNL might have, have backup, if you will. I don't know who that backup could possibly be. So that backup could be the winner of the Battle Royal. But I think Braun Strowman's going to win this. And I feel bad that Andre's name has to be shared with this. And I'm kind of taking that from Aaron Rift from No DQ because he kind of said the same thing as well. I think Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal deserves better than just 2 random guys coming in from SNL. Just my opinion. I mean, Andre the Giant was a huge landmark, a huge figure in the world of professional wrestling, not just WWE. So I don't think it's necessary to put these guys in the Memorial Battle Royal, taking 2 spots up from somebody else. I mean, there's no limit, right? It's not like a 30-man Battle Royal. It's just whoever wants to be in it, or whoever wants to, be in it, there's thrown in, basically. But I think that the name Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal deserves a little better. But I think regardless of what's going to happen here, I think Braun Strowman's going to win. And that probably makes sense because Big Show won. And any of the Andre the Giant figure, maybe like a long cousin, like Braun Strowman maybe, when it comes to size and figure and all that. So I think Braun's going to win it. And I don't think he's won it before. I'm going to say I don't think he hasn't. But regardless, I'm going to pick him to win. I could be wrong, and I probably am wrong, but just based on this crappy build and this shitty storyline with Braun Strowman and SNL guys, and looking at the main picture of this, I'm picking Braun Strowman to win this. Moving on, we had SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Usos versus Ricochet and Aleister Black versus The Bar versus Shinsuke Nakamura and Rusev in a fatal 4-way tag team match for the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. Wow, it's a lot to say. But there's rumor going around that the Usos are going to leave WWE. And who could the fuck blame them? I would leave. I mean, after what's been going on late in the company and just AEW around the corner and just kind of how crappy WWE's been booking everybody lately and how crappy WWE's been booking the shows lately as well. Raw and SmackDown and the pay-per-views. So I think the Usos are going to lose here. And I think you put on Ricochet and Aleister Black. And I think, to launch these guys, kind of like, I don't want to say passing the torch, because Aleister Black and Ricochet really aren't a tag team anyways. They're kind of mixed match together. Kind of like Rusev and Nakamura. They really weren't together they're just kind of alliance together. I don't think the Bar's going to win. I don't think Rusev and Nakamura are going to win. I think those two are actually out of the company soon as well. I wouldn't blame him. Rusev has been very vocal on Twitter about it. But I think you put on Aleister Black and Ricochet. Those guys have been built to, be bang guys on the card. They're being built lately, they're on Raw and SmackDown. So I think they win this. I think they win this match. I think that's how you launch their careers here in the main roster. I think it's kind of like passing the torch, if you will, because I really strongly believe that this is the Usos' last run with the tag team champions in WWE. I really believe they're leaving. So I'm going to go with Aleister Black and Ricochet. Next we have Kurt Angle versus Baron Corbin and Kurt Angle's farewell match. And there's a lot of controversy behind this too, of course. A lot of people thought this could be John Cena should be fighting Kurt Angle, and I agree with that 100% wholeheartedly. But man, I don't know how you can go away with this. Usually I don't want to say the right thing, but usually a lot of the times if you're going out, you lose. In this situation, I kind of want to agree with that. But Kurt Angle's kind of fighting Baron Corbin because of, Baron Corbin kind of embarrassed him, took his job over, and all that. So you'd think by nature Kurt Angle would win this, but it's also a retirement match, so you think, he'd go out on his back and leave. So I don't know, man. Here's what I think. I'm going to say this. I think Kurt Angle is going to beat Baron Corbin. I think it might be a squash. Not so much like a 30-second squash, but I have just a really fast match, and that'd be it. And then John Cena's music hits, and John Cena comes out and said, "This is not the way that you need to go out. I want to fight you right here, right now, in front of all these people." And I think I'll get the crowd going. I think that's one of the swerves going to toss at us. So I think Kurt Angle is going to beat Baron Corbin, but I'm also going to throw in a match that doesn't even exist yet. I think it's going to be Kurt Angle versus John Cena, and John Cena beats Kurt Angle. And that's it for Kurt Angle. And like I said before here, Kurt Angle has a special place in my heart. I want to do a video on him, why he's so significant to me in my life. I'm not going to have time at this point before WrestleMania. I might do one maybe after WrestleMania here. But this is going to be kind of emotional here for me, guys. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to try not to be a puss and cry at WrestleMania, but I might tear up, man. I just might tear up for this one. But I think it's going to be a good match. I think it's going to be one hell of a show. One hell of a farewell, I think. I think they're going to do something swerve here because obviously the fans are really against this match. I can't believe that Kurt Angle, who's a Hall of Famer, who's a well-known name in the wrestling industry and the wrestling world, is going to go out with kind of like a mediocre match with a mediocre wrestler, if you will. I don't think Baron Corbin's that good, to be honest with you. Sorry. But I think that this is going to be a swerve. Kurt Angle's going to beat Baron Corbin, but I think John Cena's going to come out after the match, and John Cena's going to beat Kurt Angle 1, 2, 3, and Kurt Angle retires. Thank you, Kurt. Next, we have the Intercontinental title on the line. Bobby Lashley, who's a champion, versus the Demon Finn Balor. What the fuck was that on Raw the other night? Holy shit. Like, purring in the camera, and, I don't know. I don't want to even deal with the reacting of it because I want to embarrass myself. You gotta get me drunk and put me face paint for that shit. Not Bobby Lashley. Finn Balor wins this one for sure. I think they should have saved the surprise of the Demon for WrestleMania because I wanted to be surprised. I wanted to hear that dark music and the red lights and all that. I think that should have been a surprise. Now that we all know that's coming, and I get why they did it because they wanted to advertise it, and I full-heartedly get that. But make small hints to it. Don't absolutely spoil it. I think they should. I think they ruined it, to be honest with you. I think it's ruined. But it's the same match we've seen last how many fucking weeks now. I saw this match live already once in Pittsburgh, and Bobby Lashley won, and it wasn't that good of a match. So, I mean, I love Finn Balor. You guys all know he's kind of like the replacement of The Undertaker for me, kind of the similarities in the character. And, of course, my video that I made 3 months ago about Undertaker Finn Balor, of course, is not true. Could still happen one day. Probably not soon, but could still happen maybe one day. That was supposed to be a rumor going around about Undertaker versus Finn Balor, and apparently it was strong rumors with a lot of reliable sources. But anyways, I believe that Finn Balor is going to win the title back, and I think it's going to be an okay match. Like I was trying to say, I love Finn Balor, but I don't think Bobby Lashley can put on a good show or good match with Finn Balor. and I think Finn's gonna win the title back, and it'll be kind of a cool moment for him as a Demon at WrestleMania. We didn't get it last year, so of course we can get it this year. So I think Finn Balor is gonna win the title back, and I'm not sure what happened to Bobby Lashley next. I hope it's not a rematch like at Backlash or the hell they have after this. But regardless, I think Finn Balor is going to win the Intercontinental Championship and beat Bobby Lashley. Next is the United States Champion Joe Samoa. Jesus. Samoa Joe versus Rey Mysterio. Right now, as of recording this, it is Thursday at 12:28 p.m. on the East Coast here. There's no rumor or any replacement for Rey Mysterio. Supposedly he broke or strained or something with his ankle when he fought Baron Corbin on Monday night in the main event, which is another catastrophic event I want to talk about. But Rey Mysterio is apparently hurt, and apparently he's not going to wrestle at WrestleMania this year because that hurt. But there's no rumor, there's no official replacement. So as of right now, it's still Rey Mysterio versus Joe Samoa. I keep saying Joe Samoa. God damn it, Samoa Joe for the United States Champion. So I'm not really sure who to pick here if I don't know who that was going to be really in the match. But if I had to pick, let's put it this way: if Rey Mysterio is still in the match, I think Samoa Joe still wins. That's just my opinion. Because you just put the belt on him not long ago. But if he's not in it, like a return, like a Sami Zayn or something like that, I think that person wins. So let's just assume that Samoa Joe and Mysterio, the match is still going on. I'm gonna go with Joe here. I think he's gonna retain. They just put him on him, the title on him not long ago, and I love Rey. And if Rey wins, I'll be ecstatic. But my gut's telling me go Samoa Joe here. So Samoa Joe is your winner for this match. Up next is AJ Styles versus Randy Orton in a one-on-one match. And I actually think this match could be a show stealer, if you will. They're both very good in the ring, professionals, both been doing it for a long, long time. I think this match is just going to be a very good match. I don't expect anything less than a very good match, to be honest with you. But the build of this has actually been a lot better than a lot of the other matches, to be honest with you. Wasn't much to it. There wasn't much said, and I think that's how a lot of matches should be. I don't know. I think they should go out there and let the story, be told with their bodies and be told with their crowd and all that. And I think it's gonna be a really good match. But who would I pick to win? Oh man, I don't know. You got AJ Styles, who's kind of like their top guy at the moment. The outside guy. But you got Randy Orton, who has been there for years and years and years, and he's always been a top guy. So, I don't know. I'm going to go with Randy Orton. Randall Orton. I think I'm going to go with him. And I think it's going to be an RKO out of nowhere. 1, 2, 3. I don't want to say AJ Styles puts over Randy Orton because I don't think they really can put over one another. But I think, Randy Orton's lost a lot at WrestleMania. And I think AJ Styles has too, to be honest with you. But I think Randy Orton's going to have this in the bag. I think it's going to be like one of those matches where it's like, the 1-2 kickouts. Like it's anyone's game at that point. I think out of nowhere, Randy Orton's going to beat him with the RKO. And that'll be it. So I expect a really good match for this. And I don't know so much to be a show stealer, but I'm saying that it could definitely be, one of the highlights of the whole show for sure here. So I'm going to go with Randy Orton as the winner of this match. We got the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Bayley and Sasha Banks, versus Beth Phoenix and Natalya, versus the Iconic, and versus Nia Jax and Tamina in a Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match. Wow, there's a lot to say as well. I'm going to go with the Iconics in this one, because they've been building them up, pushing them a little forward more lately. They were on Raw this week with they're SmackDown people, and then they're on SmackDown, I think one of the first seconds of the show, and you kind of put these titles on babyfaces at first. I think it's time for a heel now to go with it. I don't think you put it on Nia and Tamina. I think nothing against them. I know a lot of people hate them. I just don't think it's their time yet. And I love Beth Phoenix and I love Natty. I think it's kind of more of a feel-good moment for Beth Phoenix. Let's look at it this way. Why the hell would they bring Beth Phoenix in for this then? Is she going to win it? But is she going to keep going with it? If you have the titles, you gotta defend them. Is she going to go on the road with them for a while? Is she going to, come retirement and do this for a while? So I don't know. I just don't see it happening. But if I had to pick, gun to my head, It's going to be Iconics. I think you put them on a heel. They've been pushed for a little bit, and Peyton Royce and Peyton Royce and Billy Kay. Jesus, I'm sorry. I think are going to win this. I don't think they're going to win it clean. I mean, I don't know what the hell they're going to do, but I think somehow they're going to sneak by and win. I mean, they're kind of the underdog of this match, right? And they're heels, and they're annoying as shit, and I love them for that. So I think the Iconics are going to win this match. And if I had to pick a second bet, it would be Natty and Beth Phoenix, because like I said before, Beth Phoenix, I don't know why she would come back for nothing. But if I had to pick, it could be Iconic as the winner. Iconic! Next, we had Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre. We all know who's going to win this one. It's going to be Drew McIntyre. He's going to squash Roman Reigns and win. Right. No, we really know who's going to win. It's really going to be interference by Great Khali. I'm sorry. Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre. You got to go with Roman Reigns here, of course. This is, like I said, with kind of Randy Orton and AJ Styles match. It's one of those builds where it wasn't built that much. I think it's one of those matches where the story kind of, displays out a little better. I guess at the show, if you will, with the story, the commentators, I think it's going to be a better match that way. I think the fans are more behind the Randy Orton and AJ Styles match, definitely more than this. But Roman Reigns comes back from leukemia. He's in remission. And Drew McIntyre comes out and, says he hasn't seen the biggest battle he's ever seen yet, or something along those lines. But I think Roman Reigns, of course, is going to win this. I mean, you got to have him win it. He's on a kind of roll. You got a feel-good moment for Roman Reigns, coming back from leukemia. And, this is his first WrestleMania since WrestleMania 31. He's not main eventing. Imagine that. I mean, I'm so happy that he is cleared now and he doesn't have leukemia anymore. But if he didn't have leukemia and he was still going this whole time, do you think he would be in the main event? If you think that, leave a comment below. Do you think he'd be in the main event of WrestleMania if he didn't have his issues back then? But you gotta go with Roman Reigns here. I think it's gonna be an okay match. Roman Reigns is not that bad as everyone thinks he is. Drew McIntyre is awesome. I'll be surprised if Drew wins, but I'm really gonna go with Roman Reigns as the winner here. Next, we have Shane McMahon versus The Miz in a Falls Count Anywhere match. You gotta go with The Miz in this one, I guess. Shane McMahon's not really a wrestler, of course, as we all know. So we can't really put him in like a one-on-one straight singles match. He did with AJ Styles. That was a pretty damn good match. But with this one, it's a little more personal storyline-wise. So I think this is going to go all over the place. I think it's actually going to be a really good match. I think it's really cool to see this. I'm not really sure why WWE always thinks that they put Shane McMahon and Triple H on WrestleMania cards. I love them both. Don't get me wrong, I love them both. But I'm just not. I don't get it, I suppose. But I think regardless, I think The Miz is going to win. I think he's going to win somewhere. I don't know. I don't think it's not going to be in a ring. I think it's going to be somewhere. I'm sure Shane's going to do something fucking crazy, like diving off, Section 4-1, something like that. I don't know. But I just think that it's going to be actually a really good match. I think there's going to be a lot of surprises in this from Shane McMahon. And I think The Miz is going to win, just kind of based off the storyline here and the story that they're telling. I think The Miz is going to win. I'll be surprised if Shane wins. I'll be really surprised if Shane wins. But I think it's going to be a good match, kind of a slobber knocker, if you will, in the words of JR, who's no longer with WWE, of course. But I think it's going to be a good match. And The Miz is your winner here. Next, we have Triple H versus Batista, no holds barred match. Almost like a Falls Count Anywhere, kind of. But this is the one match where I have no idea who to pick. I don't know. Because here's the thing. Triple H says if he loses, Batista said if you lose, your career's on the line, And so Triple H loses, he's done. Well, real life story here, you're going to Saudi Arabia, which is now in June, they've announced. And you can't tell me that Triple H is not going to wrestle at that, But you have to let Dave Batista coming back, I guess this is kind of his first match in a while here. You're going to have him lose at that too. I don't know. I truly believe that this is not the only match Dave Batista is going to have. I think he's going to go to Saudi Arabia. I think he might be at SummerSlam. I think he might be even at Survivor Series. I just have a hard time believing it's kind of a one-and-done thing. I mean, I could be wrong, but they said with Bill Goldberg, too, and he went from Survivor Series the whole WrestleMania. So I don't know about this one, man. My gut's telling me Triple H that he's going to win, but I'm going to go with a swerve here. I'm going to go with Dave Batista winning this one. I think that there's a reason why behind the career on the line here. Triple H, I think yesterday came out on ESPN and said that he was actually nervous for his pec. You know, he wasn't 100%, but he was nervous for his pec. I don't want to say giving out, but wasn't 100% maybe. He's cleared, but he didn't think he was like 100% cleared, if you will, if you know what I mean. Like, he just couldn't compete at the high level that he usually does compete at WrestleManias. So I think this is going to lead to some sort of storyline, maybe. Maybe at, like, I don't want to say Crown Jewel. What the hell is it called? Whatever the show during Saudi Arabia, maybe it's like, all right, let's do double or nothing type thing. If I win, you know, if I beat you, Dave, I'm not retired anymore and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I think there's something behind it here. I think it's going to be Batista winning. I'd be surprised if Triple H wins. But I think it's going to be Batista winning. But there's also the other thing, too, is that this want to be Batista's last match. So maybe he wanted his friend to you know, beat him as his last match or something. I don't fucking know, man. I'm going to go with Batista. I'm going with Batista. That's my final word. Going with Batista. Batista. And well, let's see what happens, man. Batista's winning this match. Next, we had Universal Champion Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins. You know, all signs are pointing to Brock Lesnar winning, to be quite honest with you. But I don't know. I mean, you got to think that Kofi and Becky are going to win. But do you have all 3 titles exchanged at WrestleMania? I mean, there's no rule that says you can't, right? So I'm not really entirely sure how they would do this. I like to think all 3 would switch. That'd be kind of cool. Or 4, I should say. But it's in 3 matches. So I don't know. But this one either, man. I am going to go with Seth Rollins. I'm going with Seth Rollins. A lot of people are saying Brock, he's going to stick around and all that. And like, it's one of those matches where like Seth kind of comes up short and doesn't win. And it's like one of those things like last second Brock Lesnar gets him. But I think Seth's going to win. I think it's going to be the opposite. I think Seth's going to win with you know, just gets Brock Lesnar, you know, last second and beats him with a curb stomp, something like that. And I think Seth's going to win it. I don't know if it's going to be that great of a match here. I love Seth Rollins, and Brock Lesnar's just a kick-ass machine here. I think you should have put this in a no holds barred, but you know, it's going to be a good match, I think. And I'm going to go with Seth to become the new Universal Champion. Next, you have WWE Champion, the new Daniel Bryan versus Kofi Kingston. I'm actually nervous for this one. I'm not gonna lie. For some reason, I look at this match and I'm seeing a picture right in front of my face here, and I get like anxiety, and I don't know why. I think it's because I'm so afraid the New Day is gonna break up, and I do not want them to break up. I love the New Day. They should never ever fucking break up. It should be like DX. DX never broke up. They never turned on one another. I mean, really, kinda, but they never really did. And I do not want them to split. I don't want them to split. I'm going to go with Kofi. I love Kofi. I think he needs a moment here. A lot of people are picking Daniel Bryan as well. I want to say either one of those 2 world titles is going to switch. And I'm going to go on a limb here and say they're both going to be switched. I think Kofi's going to win. He's going to become the new champion. I think they're going to bring back the old belt. I mean, it'd be funny if he ran with the new... I don't know what the hell the kind of belt is, but I think it would be funny if he ran with that one, like, 3 away or something like that, or lit on fire. No, and not at WrestleMania, but somewhere like that afterwards. But I think Kofi's going to win it, and I'm praying for not a heel turn. I think there's going to be interference. I think the New Day is going to come out and help, you know, Kofi win by hurting, I almost said Braun Strowman, I'm sorry, Eric Rowan. And I think that's how it's going to go. I think it's going to be a good match. I think it's going to be actually a really, really good match. And I think it's going to be the second match of the night to end the show with, because we had the triple threat to end the show, of course, as advertised. And I think this is going to be just a very good, solid wrestling match. And I'm going to go with Kofi winning here. That's just what I like, and that's what I like to see. So I'm going to go with Kofi Kingston winning the WWE Championship. Please no heel turn. Please no heel turn. I don't want a heel turn. Just me personally. I don't want a heel turn. Lastly, but not least, for sure, the triple threat match we've all been talking about. The Raw Women's Champion Ronda Rousey versus the SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte Flair versus Becky Lynch. Winner take all. And, you know, I originally was really, really upset that Charlotte was inserted into this match as a third contender. And I thought about it, I'm like, well, what's the worst that's going to happen? You know, it's going to make the match worse and make it a hell lot better, right? So Becky Lynch is on a roll here. Her, like, the steam that she had, and, you know, she was, like, white hot from it there, it's kind of died down. And I kind of blame WWE for that. Ronda's been on social media talking shit and kicking ass. It's been hilarious. And Charlotte's been kind of like a middleman, kind of causing drama in the middle of it, to be honest with you. So, I think this match, to be honest with you, I think this match, and I hope I'm right in, like, years to come, is going to be a match to be remembered for years and years and years to come. I think this is going to be the first ever women's main event at WrestleMania. Both titles are going to be on the line. I think you do something big with this one. I think you make it a big match. You do something here. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what they can do. I think it's going to be a great match. I think it's going to be a slobber knocker. I don't expect to see blood and all that, but I expect some physicality, and I expect some drama, and I expect just a kick-ass match between these girls. I'm actually really excited for it now. Hype myself up for it. But you got to pick a winner here, and a lot of people are picking Charlotte to win it all, to put her over as heat. Maybe. I also see Ronda winning. I think she's finally going to lose. I think she's going to take the pin, to be honest with you. But you got to go with Becky. You got to go with Becky Lynch. The storyline they've had with her, their ups and downs and the struggle, how white hot she was. It's kind of like the Daniel Bryan story. Kofi and Becky Lynch kind of have the same story at the moment as Daniel Bryan. And they're trying to recreate that. And I get WWE trying to do that. Becky Lynch became white hot by herself, and so did Kofi. But now they're forcing it. Unlike Daniel Bryan, they weren't forcing it. We were forcing it upon them. But now they're kind of forcing it upon us. And I don't like that. I appreciate how organic both Kofi and Becky have been building on their own. Kofi Mania and the whole Kofi Mania thing, and then the man thing with Becky Lynch, and they both build up the white hot. It's just fine. It's fine with me. But WWE's been forcing it in your face, like, you know, they're the underdog. They, you know, the whole thing. You all know what I mean here. So I think this is going to play into the matches somehow. That's why I picked Kofi to win, and I think I'm going to pick Becky to win as well. I mean, you kind of think you have to, right? I'm going to pick Becky to win. I think at the end of the match, I don't want them to see hugging and kissing one another in the other match. I want to see confetti, Becky winning, but holding both titles up. And supposedly it's supposed to be a unification match. So after this, where does it go from here with Becky? I mean, I think we all know it's going to be unified belts eventually. I'd be surprised if they're not. I mean, with the new Fox deal and all of that. But I don't know. I'm going to go with Becky Lynch to win here. It's makes the most sense, I believe. Let's just serve us with Charlotte. I just don't think Ronda's going to win. There's just no way Ronda's going to win. If I had to pick a second winner, it would be Charlotte. But I think full-heartedly Becky's going to win both titles. It'll be a feel-good moment for her. I think she deserves it. We all love her. And it'll be a good time. It will be a good time after the show. After this match, I'll be exhausted. I can't wait to go to my hotel and go back to bed. So I'm going to pick Becky Lynch to win this match, to win both Raw and SmackDown champion. And it's going to be a great match. I just have a gut feeling it's going to be a match we're going to see for years and years and years to come. Just my gut feeling here. And that's it. Holy shit, that is a long-ass show there, man. That is a long show. And I can't wait. I can't wait to be there. I just hope it doesn't rain. It's actually supposed to be like between 60 and 50 during the show, which is fine with me as long as it doesn't rain or the wind's not blowing or anything like that, or God forbid snow. It should be a hell of a good time. I'm so excited for the weekend. I'm so excited to go to WrestleCon, Access, the whole thing. I'm so excited for it. I know Access isn't the best thing. A lot of people are telling me, but it's gonna be a fun show. It's a fun time there. I'm just gonna go see it. But the whole weekend's gonna be fun. I can't wait for it, and I'm looking forward to a lot of wrestling. And I should be up here a lot this weekend on YouTube. I'm going to try to vlog a little bit for this weekend, just kind of give you kind of updates. Follow me on social media. Follow me on Instagram, on my Twitter, and, of course, subscribe to my channel here. I will be active on all three of those this weekend here as much as I humanly can. So there it is. There's your WrestleMania predictions. And I will see you guys throughout the weekend here. I don't know if I'll be up for Monday Night Raw review. It just depends what time I get back. As soon as I come back from New York, I actually have to go straight to my job for an hour to work. So it depends what time I get back and all the stuff I have to do. But I will be up later next week for sure for a review or a live review. But come back this week. I might have a video or two up on my channel here for like kind of a vlogging trip. So I will catch you guys later. I hope you all have a great weekend. I hope you all have a fun time watching the show, and I hope it is a good show. And I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Take it easy.